Well, I'm going to say good evening, but I'm also going to say good morning to those of you that are in a different country. I want to say good afternoon, say good morning to some, good afternoon to others, and good evening. We're so happy to be here today with you to share one more time. Uh, my name is Leslie Montgomery, and you are now tuned in to Leslie's Lessons Learned. Kingdom Living, or should I say LKM, Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. And I'm so glad to have my guests on with me today. It is a privilege and an honor for them to be here, taking time out of their busy schedule to come and minister to you. And as we get started, as always, I'd like for my guests to introduce themselves and just tell a little bit about themselves. And I'm going to start with you, Pastor Darlene. You have a lot of things going on. And if you could just take a moment and share some of those things with us, I would appreciate it.
Absolutely. My name is Pastor Darlene Thorne. I am your caregiver's co-mentor, and I help the busy, overwhelmed caregiver to take their lives back and teach them intentional, good self care so that they can care for those and serve them effectively and to be able to make sure they're taking care of them. As I say, make sure you put your mask on first before you put on somebody else's. I also have a room on Clubhouse. We meet every day. We talk about we have book conversations, we have prayer, we talk about finances, all of these things related to the caregiver. And we also exercise and we talk about your health. All of these things are so related to the caregiver and them being able to put themselves on the shelf first. And then the other thing that I do, as you said, Pastor, my husband and I, we pastor a ministry that meets right here in our home, a home-based ministry called Renewal Community Church. We've been doing this since 2019. And we're so thankful that God has given us this opportunity to be able to serve the community, to grow deep and not wide.
All
We're
right
really
now.
believing that we want to pour into those we've been called to serve.
Amen.
And
Uh,
that's just a little bit.
that is definitely just a little bit, but we appreciate the little bit that you have given. And I want to just touch all of your rooms is good, but I just want to touch on the Friday room because so many people do. And lately, me getting into that room has been hit or really hit more than or miss more than hit lately. But I enjoy coming in there and just exercising, just simple exercises that we can do every day to help better our lives. And to hear Dr. Vera give us little tips on how to change things that we do, even with putting certain things we drink, certain things we, just everyday life things. And so I really appreciate that room. You have your prayer room, you have your finance room on Mondays.
Yes,
You have the what's that Tuesday? The only day you don't have a room is Thursday,
that's right. On
Saturday. But
Tuesday,
no, on
yes,
Sunday you do too.
yes. On Wednesdays is when we have our book study, and we're studying now Joshua Giles' book, Mantle for Greatness. This book has been amazing. It's been powerful. So we've been studying that book, and it's really been ministering to everyone that's come in the room.
Thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
hey, sis, I see my sister Linda's in the room. Hey, Alfreda. So, I want to welcome everybody that if you're not here now, when you come on, I want to say thank you so much for being here. I also want to say take a moment and hit that like sign, subscribe, and share. This conversation today, I know is going to be helpful to not just those that care give, but to people in general in life. And my friend, Sister Pretty. for being here today. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
To the
Can you hear
to
me?
the here, yes, yeah, yes.
Okay.
Sit up, sit up.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, I want to thank Leslie for inviting me to this platform, along with my sister, Pastor Darlene. This topic is dear to my heart, and again, I thank you for this opportunity to let me share.
Okay. So, Uh, yeah, it's gonna be short and sweet. I know. All right, but thank you so much for being here. So our topic today, and I was trying to figure out, do I want to call it caregivers ministry? What do I really want to call this? Because you ladies have your own ministry within ministries
Mhm.
that you do for caregivers, and if you could just first start by letting us know how it started. Darlene, give us a little history about how you became a caregiver in your own home.
Absolutely. It was November 15th, 2019, when I found my husband in the restroom, almost unresponsive.
Mm,
And I remember calling 911 and having the paramedics and, they all showed up, and his blood pressure was through the roof. And they found that he had had a hemorrhagic stroke.
mm,
So he'd spent months and months in the hospital while they were draining fluid from his brain. And they were telling me, well, we don't know what it's going to be like when it's all said and done. We had no idea. But I had a word from the Lord that said, this sickness is not unto death. And Psalm 91 was my everyday mantra. And so today, it is years later, my husband is at home. He is walking, talking, moving, speaking. Prophetess L3 has heard him on several occasions, and actually we got to meet each other.
Yes.
We
wow.
got to meet each other, and he is truly a walking miracle. And from that came the ministry to other caregivers, because they realized that I'm not alone.
Mhm,
And people were asking me, how are you still doing what you're doing? How are you managing all of this? And so I get the privilege of being able to pour into other caregivers and to help them to find strategies and ways that they can take care of themselves first, and then take care of those they serve. So it has been an incredible privilege to be able to now serve my husband in a different capacity. We said, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. And we are living out those vows today.
Yeah,
mhm. So
that's
good.
good.
So
That's
good.
we had a conversation about that the other day. How when you take those vows, you don't realize that there might be a sickness. You don't realize that it might be to death do us part. You say those things. You're young. You're just in infatuated. I say you can kind of say in love with but head over heels. I'm getting married to this man I love or this woman I love, but not really understanding the vows.
Mm,
Come on.
absolutely.
Come on. It's the truth.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
the honest to God truth.
Not
Yeah.
really understanding, and that's part of my ministry, um,
Mhm.
helping those to understand that it's more than just saying I do. And how about before we say I do?
Come
What
on
does that
now.
really look like? But that's not the topic today. So, Doreen,
You could have kept going.
You could have kept rolling with that, because that's the truth and a half.
And a half. Yes,
and
ma'am. Yes,
Mm.
Mhm.
ma'am.
So,
Mm-mm-mm.
Doreen, tell us how you got started.
So, I am the founder of Yonder's Corner, and this is an organization where we support and encourage and educate caregivers and their families on how to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle. And so, I never thought that I would ever do anything like this. I've always been in the space of serving since I was a kid, but never to this magnitude. And how I came about being a caregiver was to my mother and my father.
Mm.
Um, my dad, I would go over to their house and my dad would say, there is something going on with your mother. and and so I would say, Dad, I don't see anything. I would take them to the store, take them to get their meds and all that kind of stuff. And so one day I was at my mother's house and she had a picture. She had a whole bunch of picture frames. And she pointed at this picture and she said, she keeps looking at me. Why is she looking at me like that? So I said, Mama, she's not looking at you. And the picture was me. And she said, yes, she is. So can you please get rid of this picture? So I said, yes, ma'am, I'll get rid of it. So as time went on, um, my father was home at then, but then he got sick and we had to wind up going into a facility.
Mhm.
So in the facility, my dad and I would have these conversations, and he would say, please take care of your mom. Please take care of your mom. And I said, Daddy, I'm going to take care of her. Like, why are you saying this to me? This is what I'm saying
Mhm.
to myself. Well, long story short, my father passed away. And so I moved. I'm rushing through the whole thing. So I
Don't
moved
rush
my
too
mom.
much.
Okay. Okay.
Relax.
I wound up moving my mother into my home. At the time, I was separated. Me and my husband were separated. So I
Mhm.
moved my mother into my home, and so so she would say, can you roll my hair? And I said, sure. So I would roll her hair. Then she would look in the mirror and she says, that person is looking at me. They keep looking at me. So I said, there's something wrong. So I took her to the doctors. And then that's when the doctor said she was in fourth stage
Oh,
of
fourth stage.
dementia.
Wow.
So that was a lot. It was a lot. And that is the reason why I got into caregiving, is because it would be so many trying times,
Mm.
rewarding but trying times, and my mother's sister would call me, and sometimes she wouldn't know I would be crying on the other end of the line, and she would just encourage me, support me, like send money through the mail, just so I would be okay anytime
Mhm.
you need me, blah blah blah. So moving on, mama progressed and she got worse and everything, and she passed away. My father passed away in 2017, and then 2 years later, my mom passed away.
Wow.
So I was like serving both of them. I was still working in Trenton, and I would run and get her from the home, from run and get her and take her to the hospital. And I was doing all that, and so
Mhm.
one day, so after my mom passed away, I had went to the store and I put the key in my door, and I clearly heard and felt in my heart the Lord said, as your aunt was to you, this is what I want you to be to other caregivers, because some of them do not get the support or the love that they need. So I was like, no, because I was a person that
Everything was.
I'm
She's a
the
no
behind
person.
the scenes.
She's a no person.
Behind the scenes. I'm comfortable behind the scenes, but
Mhm.
God has said, no, this is what it's not about you. It's about the caregivers. It's about people that I want you to touch. So that's how I got started. I hosted our first intimate setting in my home. And I just began to, I had at that time, I didn't have a team yet. It was just me and my sister. So we put together some baskets, and just I had my girlfriend serve them. They were servers, and I just loved on them and let them just go ahead and just talk and say how they felt, and it was just wonderful. So from then on, I've been doing things behind the scene, but now I'm about to launch it now. Launch and do what God has said to do.
Launch.
Because again, it is not about me. It's about helping.
And trust me, it's not
And
about any of us. I want to say, give a shout out to Speak Up Sis, Angel. Thank you so much for being here. She was on a couple of weeks ago, and if you haven't heard of Speak Up Sis, this is an organization that is kind of well rounded. She works and she has so much going on, and she's trying to help everybody. I just appreciate the fact, and I find it humbling that she's taken time out to be here. So as we go on, and I really think about, I remember your mom and dad, and you taking care of them, and all those things. And I don't know, I keep seeing Pastor?
He just came in and sat down.
Where's he at? I know he did. He don't want to come on the screen.
No, he sat. He came here and sat down.
Oh, okay. I just saw his arm. Tell him I said hi.
hello, Pastor.
Oh.
Everybody's saying hello to you.
So,
You want to come up here so they can see your face? You can say hello.
come on, Pastor Kevin.
Yeah. So take your time. Just stand up. Yeah, he's coming. So y'all keep talking. He'll be here in a minute.
So one thing about Pastor Darlene,
Come on, stand up.
she always will post something with Pastor Kevin. Her love, I, I I can't speak for her love, but what I can say, really, okay, oh wow, yeah, oh, and that, you know what? We take caregivers for granted. And a lot of times, if you've never experienced it, you really don't have any idea what
You
that's
don't.
like. No idea. You can
Mm-mm.
come, you can say, "Oh, I'll pray for you,"
Okay, just
but
look.
until
Yeah,
you walk in the shoes, you
look up.
really have no idea what that's like.
No idea.
Okay, there you go. Kevin, look up. Look up. Look in the camera.
Hey, Pastor Kevin.
Hello, Pastor Kevin.
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody's saying hello to you because they want to know who this handsome man is in my life.
Yes,
that's right.
That I
yes.
get, I get the privilege of being the wife too.
No, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Pastor Kevin is a jokester.
Oh
Don't let him
yes, he
fool
is
you.
a jokester.
He's a character. He'll have you laughing.
Yes, he is a character. Don't let this quietness fool you. And his just saying hello. Don't let it fool you. Not at all. He has some jokes today. He has some
Oh,
jokes today.
today was your jokes for
Yes,
day.
he's been doing so well. God has
Oh,
really
good.
been strengthening him. And I'm
amen.
so thankful for how God has really done a work. I mean, for him to be doing this. Now he's trying to find a seat. You want to sit
I
down?
see him.
You want to sit down? Okay, well, let's bring this chair over here. He said, wait a minute. He says, okay, I'm supposed to be in this picture. I guess I'm supposed to be here.
Right, right.
He said, make room for daddy. So let's make room for you, okay? All right. You just stand here and I'll bring you the chair. Get close to the table. Excuse us while we make a little arrangements.
Oh,
So, well, this for those of you that don't know, this is Marquise, my grandson. I guess he wanted to come. You want to say hello?
Hello.
hi,
Um,
Marquise. You're so handsome. How are you?
Good. Good.
Good. You keeping my mom company?
a little bit.
Sit down.
So, you know,
Now you can look in the camera. It's right in front of you. There you go.
I gotta get my thoughts back together. I'm sorry. Yeah, but just being a caregiver is more than a notion. And one of the things that we as caregiver, because I've been caregiver before, one of the things that we do a lot of times, and I'm so thankful for both of your ministries, is we don't take time for ourselves.
Mhm.
And then what happens is when you don't take time for yourself and something happens to that person you're taking care of, a lot of times you don't know what you're going to do because you feel like you're lost now. Not
Mhm.
only do you not know what you do, a lot of times that caregiver ends up sick because they never took time for themselves.
Yep.
So that was, yeah, you wanted to say something about that because that's uh, a very important thing. That and not to be ashamed, not to feel maybe the word is not ashamed, but it's okay to understand that it's okay to take time for yourself. It's
Mhm.
okay to see about yourself.
Absolutely, because in my husband came home in May of 2020, and that October I got really sick. I
Mm.
had an asthma attack that put me in the hospital,
Wow.
and my blood pressure had risen very high and higher than normal because my blood pressure is usually 110 over 70. That's it. And my blood pressure was like 160 over something. It was just crazy. And it was because I was doing everything myself. I was taking care of
Yeah.
him, doing all the stuff. And and this was also COVID season.
Mhm.
This was COVID. So it felt like that's all you could do was, take care of you. But what I learned is that there are other resources available to you. So you don't have to take on the responsibility yourself 24/7.
Right.
And there, like you were saying, Leslie, that it's important for us to take time away just to do whatever it is that we want to do.
Yes.
Go, if I just wanted to walk outside and get
Mhm.
grounded again, take my shoes off and get
Mhm.
grounded again. If I wanted to go have a cup of coffee, if I want to take a trip, which next Friday I'm leaving to take a trip. It's a
I
girl.
promise you, Pastor Darlene gets her trips in. I promise you.
Ooh,
He
that
knows.
was
I
funny.
do. I do. I get my next Friday. I'm leaving. I'll be gone for a week. It's our girls'
Mhm.
trip. These are girls I went to college
Just
with.
college. It's
Yes,
already time for that? Or how
it's
many times a year y'all do it?
it's every year.
Wow, that's fast. That came
And
fast.
that fast, yes. And then in November I'll be doing a cruise. Now this cruise, it's a refresh and rejuvenate cruise, and that's for any and everybody that
Okay.
wants to be able to refresh and rejuvenate. We have invited caregivers to come and be a part of that because it's important for them again to make sure that they have time to have fun, just to be
Mhm.
to
Yes.
wind down and
Yes.
not have to think about anything and anybody. Those are the things that we believe are very important to our mental health.
Mhm.
That's what we don't tap into. We talk about physical health, but mental health is just as important.
Mhm. Yeah.
You, Miss Doreen, you talked about your mom and the things that she experienced. That can happen to the caregiver as well, because if we're not being very intentional in having, uh, dare I say, a therapist to talk with when
Mhm.
you're experiencing your caregiving journey,
Mhm.
it can affect us as well. Have you
Yes.
found that in
Yes.
your
And
talk?
I want to just piggyback on what you just finished saying. A girlfriend of mine said that you need to go on a vacation. So I said, okay, yeah, I will, I will, I will. Well, I got sick,
Mm-hmm.
and my girlfriend. I had another girlfriend. She came over and took me to urgent care. And so to come to find out, I had the flu. So I was down for like almost 2 weeks,
Wow.
and because it was all, I was taking care of mom just nonstop. She didn't want nobody else to take care of her. Nobody could do it but Doreen, even though my daughter and my niece, they would come and help, but she did not want no parts. But long story short, I got sick, and So maybe after like a week and a half, I peeked in the room and she said to me, "Where were you? Where were you? I
Wow.
missed you, you know." And
Mm.
so I said, "Mommy, I wasn't feeling well. So I said I have to be well to take care of you." So again, I had another girlfriend said, "Nope, you need to take a vacation." She said, "You get your money to get your flight and I'm taking you to Florida." So we went to Florida and I just had a wonderful time. I put my mother in respite, you know, and at first I was kicking and screaming because I
Yes.
didn't want nobody to because I was just it's just me and mom,
Yes.
you know, and I don't know how they gonna treat my mother. I don't know how they were gonna treat her, you know. So I swallowed, you know, I calmed down. I talked to my mom and she was okay, you know, but then after I got to Florida and checked on her, they said, "Well, your mom, she won't go to sleep. Your mom is not eating. She's she's combative, you know, she was upset because, you know, but I had to just say, I need this for myself.
That's
I
right.
need this for my mental state, you know, my head,
Yes.
my physical, you know. So it is very, very important to take that time for yourself. And
Yes.
just like Leslie said, it's okay to care about you. You got to care about you and your well being. And because if you don't, how are you going to help the other caregivers or help, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, just be able to be there if you don't take care of yourself first, and then you're not good, your headspace is not good, you know, you're just not feeling yourself. So
Well,
that's
I have said this, being selfish is the most selfless thing you can do.
mm,
Because
mm-hmm,
if you are selfish and you take care of you,
yeah,
that means that you really do love the person that you're caring for. You love them
absolutely,
enough to let them know, I need to make sure I am whole and well to take care of you. Because remember, I don't know about you, but there's sometimes that I've gotten short with my husband
mm-hmm,
because I was a little
mm-hmm,
frustrated,
yeah, yeah,
and I realized, I need a sidebar,
yeah, yes, absolutely,
and
absolutely,
and that's when you know, okay, time to shut it down. Okay,
mm-hmm,
let's do
mm-hmm,
something different, because and my husband has, when I say that he had the hemorrhagic stroke, it affects his memory at times. So he may ask me the same question
mm-hmm,
within maybe 5-10 minutes of each other.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I've read this book. It's called Healing the Broken Brain. And
mm-hmm,
in the book, the author says that one of the things that really helped her in her healing process, because she tells her story, is that the one that was caring for her answered her question. And I'm still learning, I'm still walking through this process. They answered the question as though it was the very first time the question was asked,
mm-hmm.
no matter how many times it was
Yeah,
asked.
no me. Yeah, yeah. And you know, when my brother and I went to a workshop um, dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, and all that, and they said, and I'll never forget, do not ask a person who has dementia, "Don't you remember?" Because they don't remember. And that was me. I kept saying, "Mama, I just told you that earlier, Mom." "No, you didn't. You didn't tell me that." And I told her maybe about 5 times before, you know. And
Yes,
then they say, "You do not ask them, don't
it-
you remember?
right.
Don't do that."
That's more frustrating for them than anything else.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And this is true. I was thinking about when you said you had your mom, and then I remember we called my Papa. We called my
Mm-hmm.
grandfather Papa, and he was in rehab, and I went there. I would go there every day. And this one day I went there, and this nurse was I didn't know. And she said, "Oh, what's your name?" I said, "Leslie." She said, "You're Leslie. All night long, he's calling your name." And I was like, "He is?" She's like, "All night long, he's yelling for you, calling your name." But the
Oh,
way she said
Papa.
it was just so hilarious. Um, you
So you,
know,
you the one.
I'm the one. So, but the things that you ladies are saying is so true. Um, and that's why I wanted you to come on today, because I remember when I was taking care of my grandfather, and you talked about different groups and stuff that was available. I probably wouldn't have even went to them. I probably would have been like, "Oh no, I don't need that." you know. But I want to encourage everybody. You
Yeah,
need that.
you
Yes, you
need it.
do.
You do
Yep,
need
you
that.
do
You
need
need
it.
to understand, and it helps you also understand um, who you are as a person
Yeah.
and how much you can bear. When I say can bear, how
Mm-hmm.
much you can tolerate before you need a break,
Mm-hmm.
because we
Right.
don't want you to break.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, that you understand that before you break, go somewhere and get a break.
Get a
That's
break.
right. That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, I'm reading in the chat. I was just that speak up sis Angel was saying she has to keep her mom from fussing with her dad because she keeps acting like she can't wrap around her head that his mind's slipping. So it's like, honey, I just told you that. Don't
Yeah.
you know that? And it's very interesting because um, before my husband had the stroke, he was already experiencing some of that because he had been having some TIAs.
Okay.
He had
Oh.
been having small TIAs. And this
Mm-hmm.
is what the doctors told me later on, that he had been having these small TIAs. And so then when he had uh, the stroke that day, I will tell you this also, short story. The Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning, he had the longest lasting nosebleed that I'd ever seen. It started about 2:30 in the morning, and it was
Mm-hmm.
4:30 in the morning. He's
Oh.
still, and he had a clot that came out of his nose. I mean, this was crazy. But what I saw later on, Lord revealed to me that clot, it was in his head.
Oh my.
It had to be somewhere in his head, and it came out. And I believe that that was something that God knew was going to take place. And
Mm-hmm.
that clot, if it was lodged somewhere in his head, he would have been out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And this probably would have been a very different story that I was telling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know that God has protected him and kept him, right? He kept you and is still keeping you.
Yeah.
Yesterday he
Mm-hmm.
told me, he says he's gonna start writing music again. So
Okay, good for that. Good for
Yes.
you, Pastor
Good.
Kevin.
you're gonna
Yeah.
write you're gonna write some worship music?
Yes.
Absolutely. And
Good.
he
Amen.
is a worship leader. He
Hmm.
is a worship leader. He loves the Lord. Are you, Marquise, you a worship leader too? He's
Yes.
like, I don't think I'll do that.
He's singing around all the time. One of the things I can say, and Pastor Kevin, I hope you do sit down and write worship music,
Mm-hmm.
and both of them are worshipers, and both of them uh,
Mm-hmm.
write. Stop. Right. Um, of course, both of them write. Sing. I mean, worship. One
Mm-hmm.
of the things that I do know is that when you're taking care of a husband and wife, that is a very different kind of thing than taking care of one person. Because when you take care of husband and wife, they still have that husband and wife kind of tie. So
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they both are at the place where you have to take care of both of them, but they both still trying to take care of each
Each
other.
other.
Yes, that's
You
right.
know, so you trying to care for them and trying to get them to see what you're doing sometimes doesn't go over too well because they can't
Mhm.
calculate that in their head, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think about even Renee, and Renee is being a caregiver for
Mhm.
both her parents right now, and to see, Mr. Johnson, he be on top of it, he trying to do everything. You want to eat? Why you not eating? Why you this? Why you that? And she got to say, Dad, I got this. Go sit down.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so when you think about it, compassion.
Mm.
Yeah. Mhm.
Come on.
Yep.
You
You
have
have
to.
to have it. We both. Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have
We
it.
have to have it. Yep.
You got to be thinking about them
Mhm.
through a different lens.
Mhm. Mhm.
Really see them for who they are,
Mhm.
and recognize that a part of them is not who they are.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
That they
Absolutely. Yeah.
and I said I experienced a twofer. I got two husbands for the price of one because the husband I had pre-stroke is not the same husband that I have post-stroke.
Yeah, right.
So,
Wow.
but I love both of them
Mhm.
in different ways because he is a different person. The way we interact now is different from the way we interacted before.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, and I won't forget one time I was sitting planning a refresh, refill, renew, and he was sitting in the chair, and I was a little frustrated because I couldn't figure out how things were, and he looked at me and he said, "Babe," and he looks at me in my eyes and he says three words. He said, "Ask for help."
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yes.
But that's we're going to center around that because
Yes. You have.
that's something a lot of times caregivers
Neighbors
won't do.
don't. Nope.
I got it. I'm okay.
Yep.
But I don't want you to stop saying what you were saying because yeah,
That was
that's,
me. That
yeah.
was me that time. That was me.
Yep.
Yep.
Ask for help. I
Mhm.
mean, they're three simple words,
Mhm.
but for whatever reason, whether it be our pride, whether we are ashamed to
Mhm.
say that we need help, because I think that there is this misnomer that if we ask somebody for help, that we're admitting that there's a certain weakness. But
Yeah.
there is really no weakness in asking for
Mhm.
help. There's
Mhm.
really a strength to it because what I've found is there are people that want to help,
Yeah.
they don't know
Yeah.
how.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
if they were to come to you and say, "How can I help?" Baby, I got a list.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. That
You
is.
know, go ahead,
Yep.
Miss Doreen.
Now I was going to say that is so important. Ask for help. And I know of a couple individuals that are struggling, but they will not ask for the help. And they need it.
Mm-hmm.
And they need it, you know. Um and on I'm going to say on the flip side too, um you got some siblings who live far away. They
Yep.
can help. They can send money. They can do whatever. But for them not to chip in and help, there's it's no excuse. It's no excuse because you could do something. You could do something. You know.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. I was a caregiver for my mom, and what would happen is I was the one that lived far away,
Mm.
So what we would do is we would get her, and she would come down from Jersey, and she would
Mhm.
stay with us over the summer. So all summertime, she was with us.
See?
And then when summer, so that was 2 or 3 months that she was, all the other folk were up in Jersey, and she stayed with us, and we had the best time. She would come to church with us. She prayed for just about everybody because she was the evangelist, okay? And she prayed for everybody. I mean, it was so wonderful to be able to have her in our home, and we
Yeah.
get. I always count it, and I hope that most of our caregivers do. I count it a privilege to serve.
Yes.
It's
Mhm.
a privilege that we get to serve. We get
Yes.
to be a part of somebody else's life to help them uh, on their journey.
Mhm.
And God has chosen us.
Mhm.
We've been chosen for this, and we're built for it.
Yeah.
But we're also built for asking people to help us as we're on the journey, because no man's an island, and
Mhm.
we weren't supposed to do it by ourselves, because
Right.
these other people that want to help.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have a desire to help. And if we put it out there that we need help, we have a whole lot more people that will be coming, even if they come and stay 10, 15 minutes, come and just
Yes.
sit and chit chat, have a conversation.
Yes.
Those little things mean a
Mhm.
whole lot.
Yeah. Yes, they do. In our organization, we do acts of kindness, random acts of kindness. And it was a husband and wife. He takes care of his daughter was a paraplegic, and the his wife, the mother, has Alzheimer's. So the Lord said, I want you to bless them. So we blessed them with $100 gift card to go on a date night. And
Nice.
they just kept talking about it, and just like, oh, that was so refreshing, so
Yes.
refreshing,
Yes.
so
Mm, mm, mm. I like that. I like that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Well, I'm hoping that we get an opportunity to see each other face to face, and to actually do some things, because
yes, absolutely, Pastor. Yes, absolutely.
this is important. And I'm finding that it is more. I liken it to this: when a woman gets pregnant, all of a sudden she sees all the other pregnant women. Or when I bought a Toyota Rav. I see more Toyota
Yeah.
Rav in front of me, all
Mm-hmm.
around me. I see them, I notice them now. And the same thing held true is when I became a caregiver. I came in contact with more caregivers than before.
Yeah.
And they are here.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
are here. And so and I'm looking at caregivers like myself who, not that we need it, but there are times that you're looking for some type of compensation because I can't work outside of the home. My responsibility is to be here with him.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the compensation come from? Because there's some people that actually have lost their jobs because they were the primary caregiver, and
Mm-hmm.
they would
Yeah.
always be at work,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
or something happened and they had to leave the job. And some of
Mm-hmm.
the people lost their jobs, and there's not any other income to come in. So I'm looking at that too. How can we talk with those who make the decisions, our lawmakers, to
Yeah.
see, can there be something done, especially well, here in North Carolina. I don't know what the laws are in Jersey, but across the board, there may be some differences, but there may be some things that we can do to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because I was going to say their Department of Aging in Jersey. I Someone told me to get in contact with them because they could tell me there is a program called the PPP, Personal Preference Program, and
Mhm.
you will get paid for taking care
Yes.
of your loved one.
Mhm.
So
That's
that
something we can
helped.
be looking at. Mhm. A
Yeah, that
Yeah.
helped, because everything, the electric, you got to keep the lights on, the
yeah.
food and all that, the water bill, the whole 9 yards, so
Yeah.
there are
Absolutely.
some programs out here,
There
but
are.
then
They
there are
just don't
some
tell
places
you
that don't
about.
have it. Right. They don't
They
tell
don't
you.
tell you
They
about.
don't tell you. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to research it. There is money out there just for that, and a
Yes.
lot of people don't know because
Mm-hmm.
they're not sharing. People are not sharing it with them. You have to ask, seek, and find. But there
Mm-hmm.
is stuff out there.
There is.
Um,
Yes.
I wanted to say, as referring to not just family members, but people that are in position to help. Don't wait to ask.
Just do it.
What can you do?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
Yes.
Become a part of it, the
Become a part of
solution.
it.
Become a part
Yes.
of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, if you don't have money, you have yourself.
Right. You
Have
need
something
time, a
to
little bit of
offer,
time.
a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
you said something very plain, Pastor Darlene. You said that it was a part of serving. For
Mm-hmm.
those of you that are taking care of someone and you're angry, I want you to reevaluate it. Your
Mm-hmm.
life is not put on hold. And most of the times, our parents have put their lives on hold for us to make sure that we have and that we can, when we were growing up, have the best of what they could give us.
Mm-hmm.
They were the best parents that you can have. And just serving them is not putting your life on hold. You're actually adding to your life.
That's
You
right.
don't have
Yeah.
to do it by yourself. I'm not saying do it by yourself. One of the problems I see is that when someone is a caregiver, people are less worried about the person because they think that, oh, they have a caregiver, that's the caregiver. And they go on with their life. And I'm talking about family members as well. They
Mhm.
go on with their life because they just look at it as, oh, you're doing it. You got
Right.
it under control.
Mm-hmm.
And but it takes a village.
It takes a village.
It takes a village.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really appreciate you, ladies, coming on. I think about when my grandfather was home and my sister Colleen came up from Boston for a week to help us. Uh, and the nurse came in. We was hanging off the side of the sofa and the chair and stuff. She's like, oh my, we were so tired. And it was just so funny because we was just like, when she came in the door, because she had wore us out. So, but please, I want to put the plead out to those that are on the outside looking in. Do not just be on the outside looking in. Hand a helping hand, help some type of way. Do something to help and to relieve, because when you're taking care of one or two people at a time,
It's a lot.
it's more than a notion.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you ladies have any last words, or if you want to share some information so someone could reach out to you and let that's what your ministry there. That's what your ministry is there for.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming on and sharing and being so candid with the conversation. I didn't even really have to say nothing. Y'all was just carrying the conversation. I appreciate it.
Yes. And you know what I want to say, because we were laughing, take time to laugh.
Mm.
Find something to laugh about, you know. I could remember, I'm going to tell this one little thing. I remember my mom coming to me and she had about 10 $50 bills in her hand. And you know what she said to me? These Something's wrong with these people. Why is their hair like that? Could you do something with this money? You know what? I said, yes, ma'am. I sure will.
Ah,
That was not a
yes,
problem.
ma'am.
Not a
Give me that fan of money. Yes, ma'am. I can do something with that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep. I had to like chuckle about it after at first, I was like, oh my God, mommy is getting worse. But then later on, I thought about it. I chuckled, yes, ma'am, we need it. I gotta pay
Yes.
this gas and electric, get us some food.
That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So take time and laugh because that helps too. It
Yeah.
helps.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, the scripture says that laughter does good like a medicine.
Yes, yes.
I believe that when we laugh, because it's been scientifically proved that when you laugh, it opens up the endorphins and
Yeah.
it helps in the healing process. Laughter, because when you have laughter in your home, is
Mm-hmm.
there's lightness, there's life in the
Mm-hmm.
home,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell that there's a certain um, don't I'm not spooky or anything, but there's just a certain aura and energy that
The atmosphere.
There. Yes,
atmosphere.
absolutely. Yeah.
It's lighter when
Yeah.
you bring laughter into the home. And this one right here, this character right here, he does keep me laughing. He
No.
really does. Sometimes he doesn't even try, but
Right.
but but it's just because of who he is and the love. Let me tell you, he loves me.
No.
Is that right?
I am. I do.
You do?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Let me hear you say it. Let me just hear you say
I love you.
Oh, so sweet.
it. I tell you, if for those of you who are in any area, you want to reach out to either one of us. I know for me, I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It is Darlene Thorne, MDiv. I'm in that group, and I talk with you about how to take care of yourself. This last month we talked about finances, because last month was financial care. This month we've been talking about mental health. So I've been putting posts out there, and I've been talking about taking care of yourself mentally, physically. And so, those of you who need to have someone that can walk with you through the process of really practicing intentional self care, please do reach out to me. You can send me a DM on Facebook. Also, like I said, in Clubhouse, you can reach out to me.
Every day but Thursday and Saturday. And I don't even know if she might be in there on Saturday.
No, I'm not
She
there on
takes
Saturdays.
she takes a
Thursday,
break on Thursday.
Thursday
And
is my
she is
rest
on every day the same time pretty much.
day.
Either
Hmm.
11 or 12
Yep,
every day.
11 o'clock. That's right, 11 or 12. So
That's
you
right.
can.
I do remember you being on at 11.
Yes, right. That's right.
Yeah.
So come on in the room. The water's fine. The water's fine.
Mhm. Yes, yes. Well, right now my website is under construction right now, but if to be um contacted, I can be contacted at Yana's Corner, which is YANAS Corner CORNERU at gmail.com.
Okay.
I can
Um,
be.
I put
And
that, Leslie. I put my website in the chat, so you can just put it
and
out
I did put it in the description.
there.
So,
Okay. Yeah. So you can just put it out here in the comment section. Can you
and
do that?
Doreen, you can send me yours.
Yeah. Put yours out there, Miss Doreen, because I want it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, I want to. Hey, Pastor Jack. Oh, Pat. Hi. I thought that was Pastor Jackie, but hi, Jacqueline. I can't wait to meet you. I appreciate you coming on. But I want to thank you, ladies. This was a good conversation, and it was a well needed one. Probably won't be the last one, but we will have more conversations because, hey, Renee, it is important for people to understand that they're not alone.
That's
And I
right.
think that's your slogan, Doreen. You're
Yes,
not alone.
you are never alone.
You're never alone. You're
Yes.
never alone. So we want to encourage you today to um, thank you, to please reach out to, even in your community, there are people that are there, that there's support groups that meet daily or weekly. There are so many different activities that's available. There's groups that take trips, and it might be just a day trip or something like that. But there's much help out there if you want it, if you really want it. And can I tell you, you deserve it. You
Yes.
deserve
Deserve it.
the break. What's that? What was that commercial? You deserve a break today. Day. We need to put some of those slogans out there. You deserve
Right.
a break today,
Right.
and to be for those of you that are in the north side, the Jersey, Camden, or not, well, Camden is Jersey, but the Jersey side, you can reach out to Doreen. Those that are in the North Carolina area, if you're in that area, you don't even have to be in that area, but I'm saying in that vicinity, you have Pastor Darlene, and I appreciate both of
Mhm.
you being here today, taking time out of your busy schedule. It is well needed. So I'll be back on Sunday at 9 a.m. Uh, and next Thursday, Renee Jackson and Leslie Bonds will be on, and they'll be talking about. Renee will be talking from the caregiver side in her ministry, and Leslie will be talking about the CEO of your household, how to get things in order and bring it together and balance it out, so that you like. Who was talking about the light bill, uh,
That's right.
the
Doreen was saying
do you have the things you need in order?
In
If
order.
something happens, can somebody just put their hands on it?
Yes.
yes.
Is it available that someone else can help if something happens to you?
Mhm.
So until we meet again, I want to say thank you so much for being here. If you have not taken a moment to hit that like sign, yes, multi generational household is the name of Renee's ministry, and Leslie's is CEO of your household. So they're going to be bringing the households together
Nice.
next Thursday.
Nice.
Take a moment and hit that like sign, subscribe, and share. Someone else out there needs to know that you're never alone. So until we meet again, we want to say thank you for being here. Pastor Kevin, it's always good to see you. Any last words from Pastor Kevin?
Anything you want to say?
Be blessed.
No. Thank you.
Amen.
Bless
Thank
Yep.
you.
Blessing. Thank you.
and
I'll
same
take
to
every
you.
one of them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So we're going to say goodbye. We love you, but Yahweh loves you more. We can never love you the way that He loves you. He loves you greater than we can.
Mm.
So we want you to go to Him first. We're here for you, but He's the one that can relieve you. Or what's your thing? Refresh, refill,
And
um,
we do.
and renew. It.
Amen.
He has everything you need.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting on the side of your bed and you're in tears, not knowing what to do, He is waiting to hear from you. Don't sit there by yourself. Always remember, we're here for you.
Mhm.
You don't have to be by yourself. Why? You're never alone. And until we meet again, have an amazing day. And thank you so much for being here.